Hi guys, welcome to the fourth session, classifying materials in MM or materials management. Before we go into the session, let's understand what are the materials in MM or materials management. As already we have learned, the material classification system of the ERP system is used to arrange various objects such as materials, vendor master data. So this system not only facilitates storing and maintaining records of the material, but also helps you to search a particular record for thousands of records stored in database of the company. Thereby you can save a lot of time and effort. Let's see certain materials which we are going to classify today in our session today. These are the key terms which we are going to use during classifying the materials in material management. The first one would be objects. Second one will be classes. Third one will be characteristics. Fourth one will be class types. Fifth one will be class hierarchy. So these will be the key terms when we are trying to classify the materials in materials management. So firstly, let's see what is object. So an object is a pattern or instance of a class. For example, Mustang 700 or Tata XUV are objects and a car is their class. So when I say car, that will become the class, but the object is the model of the car. So an object can represent a real world entity such as a person, place or a programming entity. It can consist of variables and memory locations. The main three characters of an object are state, behavior and identity. Okay? So now we have an idea of what exactly is an object. Let's quickly understand what are classes. A class is a prototype that defines the data and behavior common to the object of a specific type. In class, the data is represented by class attributes and behavior of an instance of the class is provided by class methods. In other words, we can say classes describe objects. In SAP/MM, a class is used to define characteristics of the objects associated with it. So classes at a higher level, for example, a vehicle hardware trading company may define material classes for the tires, engine and chassis. Okay? So that would be a class of a car. Characteristics. In SAP/MM module, the characteristic component of a classification system specifies the properties of the objects that are grouped together. In other words, if a characteristic represents a property such as length, color or weight of an object, a class contains number of characteristics. For example, the mobile class may have color and size characteristics. The value of the color characteristics may be red, blue, green or whatever according to the scenario. So these are characteristics. Now let's see what is class type. A class type is used to define objects associated with a class. So this is more into detailed definition. It specifies whether objects should be classified under one class or different classes. So we have certain class types or certain important class types available in the SAP ERP system. First one would be a material. This represents the material class of the MM module. Equipment represents the equipment class of the MM module. Vendor will represent the vendor class of the MM module. And the customer will represent the customer class of the MM module. So that would be a class type. Finally, let's see what is class hierarchy. In MM module, class hierarchies represent a list of superior and subordinate classes that are inherited or extended from a class. Okay, I'll give an example. In an organization, superior class is represented by the employee class having two subordinate classes, part-time employees and full-time employees. So that is how a class hierarchy can be defined in a simpler term. Now let's quickly see how can we define a class hierarchy in the SAP system. So for every definition or implementation we have to go into SPRO. We know that. Under SPRO, I go into SAP reference ING. Or I can go directly from here. I have something called a cross application component. Under that I have classification system. So from main page I just went into class application component under SAP menu, classification system, environment, reporting. Under that I have something called class hierarchy. So if I click on that, I can find this page which comes up. Under that, these are the fields. So I will explain each and every field. The first field is a class. It allows you to specify a number you need to create a class hierarchy. Okay, so I can give any number. So for example, I give 001 class type. That will allow you to specify a number that represents the class type, such as 001 for material and 002 for equipment. So here I am doing the first class type, so I will give it as 111. Change number. Change number would be nothing but it will allow you to specify a number used in change master record screen for a class hierarchy. So this is a number which we are specifying here, which will allow you to change the master record screen. So I will put it as 222. Valid from, that will allow, as the name suggests, it will tell you when you want this to be valid from. So I can give a present date or a future date. Subordinate classes specify whether or not all classes in the class hierarchy are displayed under the superior class. Okay, so if I click on subordinate classes, if I click on them on subordinate classes, specify that all classes in the class hierarchy are displayed under a superior class. If I don't click it, it means it is not. Same goes with superior classes. Graphical display, it specifies whether or not the class hierarchy is displayed in a graphical format. And parameter effectivity, you want to open the class hierarchy dialog box to select data from the class hierarchy. So these are certain small options which are available in the system. So seeing this, now let's see how we can create. Now I saved this. Now let's see quickly how we can create characteristics in the SAP system. So we created a class. We are looking to create a characteristic such as length, color or weight. So for that I go again back into the process. I go back under the class application component, classification system, master data, under that I have something called characteristics. So for each class we created there, I can provide each and every characteristic here. So the first column says characteristics, it gives you, allows you to name the specific characteristic. For example, I can be red in our case. Again, same number would act as the same as in the number which you provide, which can be used in the master record. Valid from is the valid from there. So I select valid from date as today. And I say on create. So that I can always say, okay, change number is not available, so I'll take it from the drop down. So description is basically to enter the details of characteristics. For example, I can say red Mustang is the complete detail. And we have other options available here. Depending on your business scenario, you can use them. Same way as we did for characteristics, the same way we can see how we can create the classes. Let's start the format, save it. Same way, let's see how we can create classes. So the same way, you can create your own class here now. So I'm not going into detail because it's the same step which is followed again. We will see how we can assign the objects to classes. So once you create the class here, we can go back to the main screen. Now we have created an object, we have created a class. Now let's see how we can assign that object to the class. For that I again go into classification system, under that assignment, under that assign object to classes. Here I can type in the class type whichever I have created. In my case I have not created any, so I will type in. It's not coming in because there is no class type as 134. Let me check if there is an existing class type available so that I can use the same. Okay, I say 001. I click on enter. Again, material is asking for me the material. I think I gave in 002. So when you work on the system, you will have to make a note of what are the IDs provided for each cases so that you can use it when it is required. Let's see. Which I can take down from the drop down. So this give OK so that I get the entire list. Okay. So I select any material in the list. Okay. Again I hit on enter. Here I get to select the class now. So if I have created a class earlier, I can, so which basically means this material 1500600 and the class type 001 is assigned to a specific class. So here if I take an example of a car, the material can be a tire, class type, the material can be something more specific like the tube, the class type can be of tires, and the class can be of car. Okay, so that is how we are assigning it. So again I am selecting one of the class available here. So I have all here. So I have selected the cars since we have taken the same example. And again I click on enter. So I can see that this assignment is done automatically as soon as I do the enter. So now I can see the material type motor oil comes under the class 001 and under the class type 001 and it is under the name class automotive. So this is how we can create classes, characteristics, objects, class types and class. So today is a very small section where we will see how we can maintain materials in materials management. Okay, so let's go through the session again. We can replay the session again and create your own example of any scenario, create classes, create class types, create characteristics, materials, and try assigning it to each other. Okay. With this we end this session. We will meet you in the next session, session number 5, in which we will be seeing how would we work with the master data in the material management module. That's going to be a big session. So before that, I advise you guys to have a thorough idea on the sessions we have completed now. So thank you guys, and I will meet you all in the next session. Thank you.